Hello, everyone. There we go. Welcome to Sunday Evening with Roxanne. I'm your host, Roxanne, here at Odyssey of Ascension. And we are in our new place, and I'm still kind of making adjustments here. There we go. I think that's good. Yeah. And we made the move, and now we looks like we have pretty good internet. If everything's stable out there, as you come into the room, say hello. Hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. Make any comments, ask any questions along the way, and I'll get to it, and we can talk about it if you want. And I think that's about it. Well, again, thank you all for tuning in this evening. Give us a thumbs up if you like the material. Consider subscribing. And peace be with you. Coaching says hello and good to see you. And good to see you too. Yay. Thanks for joining us this evening. Okay, I wanted to talk about this evening cultivate. There are terms that let me preface this with something. I never had a real sharp mind. There was a lot of areas that I can see through, and I had talents very specific that got me through life. Hi, Jeanette. But there was very academic stuff. Oh, I was a train wreck. Wasn't very interested in things. Nothing would spark my interest to even pursue anything academic, let alone do the work. And I thought it was just chaotic to teach the way I was taught, being raised, and things that were just uninteresting to me and I was supposed to like or supposed to be interested in. And that's just humans, conveyor belt children along a system for what they consider educated enough to make themselves worthy of living on the planet. In other words, carrying their own weight or making something of themselves, which is just fucking ridiculous, of course. So anyways, cultivate. I had one of my teachers talk to me about cultivate, and I didn't really understand what that meant in the context that she was using. And we talked about it at length. And good morning from South Africa. Hello, it's Theo. How you doing, darling? So cultivating to me now has become something to where what I cultivate in myself. And I realized that a lot of the relationships I had with realities and the way I interpreted reality is another way to say relationship or perceive reality, or the way I interact with reality is my relationship with it. And reality is the constant that's around you. It's a permanent. It is changing, but it is always there. You're always present in the bubble of your own reality. You always have a mirror, you always have reflection, you always have perception, you always have expression, you always have interpretation, So to cultivate oneself, and my mindset was to cultivate a product. And the product was based upon cultural belief systems. And what I noticed living in several different countries growing up in my life and been to more countries around the world and interacting with many different cultures, there's not a hell of a lot of differences between the cultures except what they cultivate or what they value as something important for a person to learn and become a product. We want to produce ourselves on this planet. And I realized that the structure of humanity at a constant always seeks to make the human fit. And that leaves no room for inspiration unless you're in the field of a mad scientist, perhaps, or an artist, or something that is looked upon as eccentric. The difference between a guy that's absolute batshit crazy and a person that's eccentric is money. That's just the difference there. So society as a whole cultivates a theme for humans to produce themselves out there as products in the world for value. And I spent a lifetime trying to become that product. And it changes over the years. It changes over the years in many different fashions. It changed as the idea of to be a perfect, good husband and marry the right woman and have the right life and have the kids and make the grandparents happy and fit the norm. And that was a lot of my structure. I was always trying to fit the norm of my parents because I love them so much, and all my entire desire was to make them happy, which I failed miserably at because I wasn't a product that I could not create the product that fit their needs. And so therefore I had a train wreck of a life until I woke up and I started seeing what I was cultivating. So the question is, what are you cultivating in yourself? The absolute presence, the mindfulness, the presence of your observer, the observation of yourself in all actions must be there for you to be the idea of, let's see, be the idea of notifications on what you're cultivating. Look at your life right now. Just stop and look at your life. Your life is literally what you have created. Do yourself a favor and lose. Creation is equal to manifestation as a meaning. People want to create things. We want to create things. Hey, Deb, that's what people like to do. They like to create things. We like to manifest physical items that would give us a certain idea of what we want it for. That want, look, I'm here, I don't have. What I want is there in time. My vibration between the 2 points is I don't have it. So what am I cultivating? So you can have the mindset of a human and drive and desire, goal setting, work hard and achieve, and having the product as an outcome, and then value yourself based upon that. And of course, that diminishes because change is the constant. Impermanence is screaming at you every day. So that constant is the change. And we as humans want to cultivate consistency, safety, security, stability. We don't like the unknown. We don't like to be uncertain. And we sure as fuck don't like to give up control. And my ego fighting it as well to see I am just letting go. I have let go because I'm in a completely new town and in a completely new environment, and I am uncertain of my future. But I know I'm cultivating myself, so I trust in my future that's created now, and my fears don't have room to come in, and I won't cultivate them by giving them energy, by seeding them in the garden of my mind, and then watering them and allowing them to manifest in those ideas of scenarios. So you have to look at your life, look around and say, what have I done to myself? And then you can look at it from a polarized point of view. You can look at it like this. Wow, I did bad over here, but I did good over here. But that's not cultivation, okay? In the respects of what I'm teaching. I'm talking about cultivating the I am. By choosing the realities that you engage in, with the idea of cultivating that as a part of you, not a product of yourself in the future. It's a part of what you are becoming. Cultivate your own worthiness. Cultivate boundaries to keep away the toxicity of humanity. Don't fight for humans. Don't cultivate sympathy. Cultivate compassion. Huge difference. So when you're looking at humans and you see what they do, and there is one that is taking advantage of you, they are being a person that uses you for a certain reason. And if you changed your behavior, your friendship would falter because of it. That's when you know that person is using you as a dependency, not as malicious, not as purpose, as human. That's all. So for you to cultivate yourself takes your own honesty. And the first thing you have to do is start respecting yourself. Now, along with that choice of choosing to respect yourself, setting boundary, cultivating your authenticity, choosing your willful intent instead of the product intention of human is going to take courage, and it's going to leave you in a wake of absolute fear. Because fear is triggered by change. That's why humans fight so much to keep things stable, secure, certain. Because the uncertainty of tomorrow scares the shit out of everybody. And our society cultivates that. Our society teaches that. They teach a very fearful future. Politicians on both sides, relax, politicians cultivate fear. They're telling you a story of something that's not happening. And then you vote for them to prevent those ideas on either side. That's what they've done. And we as humans are the sheep for the leaders of our countries to provide them with economic and labor for the means of running the country and the economy to make the world go round. But there's an absolutely 100% different way to run a world. Everyone else is doing it except humans. But we can't change it overnight. We can't fix it. We have to change it within the kingdom that's divided. And so that's where you have to stop, or rather, better said, is stop looking outside to change the world and start looking, what are you divided inside? Where are you things that you're dishonest and not being honest with yourself? What things do I do? Do I get angry at my husband because he doesn't do what I want him to do? He's being his own person, but that person he's being, it doesn't fit my scenario. So I want to change him because I'm going to make him better. So if you can look at that with honesty, you can see how truly tyrannical that is. Don't try to improve anybody, because everybody is a God and everyone has access to the internal, unconditional, loving being of awesome authenticity, period. It is only your mind that excuses their behavior as less than, and you, putting on the hero cape, then run to the rescue of them in torment to give them the peace that you perceive. So that's what you're actually cultivating as an example. So you take your wonderful eyes of fixing the external, screaming at people for what they eat, how they dress, how they express themselves, how they drive, who they voted for, all that stuff. And you go, oh, do I want to cultivate that world? Because if you're doing those things, that's probably the world that you have right now. If you're honest and smart enough to look at your world with integrity and respect for the self, then you can see what you're truly cultivating. Debbie, with a $25 super chat, everyone. Thank you so much, Debbie. Love you. So I want you to look at where you put your energy into yourself. My move exposed a lot of my things. I've changed over the last, I think today was my 12th year on YouTube, I think is the right thing. Yeah, my 12th year on YouTube. And they celebrated it today. And I have changed an incredible amount. And reality did to me the biggest favor. It opened up a world and said, now let's dig deeper and find out what else you're cultivating that doesn't align or fit the nature of you. And I moved. And it exposed me not to negative things on the outside, to my fears, to my behaviors that don't align with the natural part of me. And I'm constantly redefining myself, always finding and letting go of truths, new truths to replace old truths. That's evolution. It's all true, but just what's true to you now. Don't hold on to what was, flow and be what is. That cultivation itself, that motif that you dawn starts to shift your reality and allows you to see what you're doing to yourself, because no one else is doing it. I said that, I think, last week, maybe the week before. And I know that as a certainty that I create my own reality with the way I behave, interpret. And I think at one moment, there's no other way to interact with this world. But as I started to observe, I get new thoughts, new ways to interact, new realizations. They're always brought on by reaction, testing points, challenges, people call them, whatever. But it's a resistance against what is. What is unconditional. My resistance is the conditioning, period. So if I recognize my condition in whatever way I can notice it and observe it, and I use methods, and there are other methods out there of transcendence by living it, becoming it, and owning it. And at times I bathe in it and realize it's not them, it's me reacting to them. The mirror is always unconditional, no matter what they do. Any reaction by you is you imprisoning yourself to the mirror and the actions of humans. Now, that's not a way to live. People make excuses. They ask me and goes, well, what about, how do I earn a living? How do I do this? What's going to happen? See, when the human tries to control, they're cultivating an idea of what they understand that works. And if that is the question they're asking themselves, what do I have to do? What am I going to do? What about this? What about that? They're continuing to cultivate through fear. But that discounts with those statements, you discount your God. You discount you're a creator. Everyone says, I'm a creator of my universe. I'm doing this. I'm listening to the spiritual world. But then you turn around and you question yourself and you doubt yourself. You doubt your authenticity of a creator just because you don't fit what your image mind says a God is and the abilities it's supposed to have. But if you continue to cultivate the separated self, then what are you going to get? What you put out is what you get back. So that's what you have to really observe. So I started to follow that idea of change, recognize and choose the different portions of me that will cultivate a new reality, that will start to dig in and say, you know what? This is better for me. It's better for me to do this. It's better for me to do that. It's not good for me to continue this. If I do that, then I get that reality. And that's a question for yourself. Do you want to live the way you do? You don't have to trust that you're a God, but you have to take a chance on it to gain the trust with the first miracle. If you get that tiny little miracle, then you know, and then your mind might fight it. And then if you cultivate the doubt or the reason, or it's luck, or it happened because of this, and then you're cultivating doubt and you're cultivating mediocrity. But if you can't change yourself, then there is no change coming for you. So you have to look at what you do, cultivate what you want in yourself, what I want as a person to myself. I want to fall in love with me, I have to behave as that person. Right? So when my changes come this week, when I moved here, the uncertainties, the things that were swirling around in my mind, I lived in the present moment. I lived in the now. And I observed. And those things that begged me for energy, I said no to, because those were patterns. They were systematic cultivations of humanity. They were based out of fear, decorated with responsibility and accountability. But what they were fear. So I stopped cultivating those things. And I'm becoming more intelligent. I'm never going to be academic in this mind, in this incarnation. Maybe one of my other incarnation was a whiz bang or something. But that's not this focus. So I stopped envying what I was not in others. I see in others and envy them. I can't do that anymore. Then I cultivate envy. I want to be smart. I want to be this so I can get that attention. I can get that thing. And that's a tragedy to do that, is to change yourself to fit and try. When I found my talents and I knew my talents and I denied my talents because I wanted to fit. And I spent almost a lifetime doing that, lifetime up till I was about 43, 44 years old. And then I'm turning 59. What's today? Wednesday. I'm turning 59 Wednesday. So those last years I've been working hard at myself, to inspire my new world. And I don't have to be smart and I don't have to be educated, because I'm not needing the external validation. I'm understanding what I am as a creator, not as a resume or documentations or a degree that collects dust on the wall. Those are great things for humans. So I started cultivating and focusing on things that matter to me, which took me a while to figure out. But I had to start with one step and I didn't look back. So if you're looking for the change to bring your life into alignment, and don't worry about how you're going to earn a living on this planet. Don't make excuses why you have to do stuff to make a living on this planet, why you have to do this and have to do that in order to get that. All that's diminishing your authenticity. You be awesome in the now, and abundance will flow to you. Opportunity will flow to you. And it may not be what you want it or need it to be, but it will always provide. And the more you do that, then it starts to go beyond your expectations. It starts to go beyond the idea of ordinary. And then you become extraordinary. Do that for yourself. Zodiac Theo says, Happy Chinese Zodiac Cycle. I've been witness of your transformations through your YouTube journey. Truly an odyssey of ascension. Thank you for your sharing, truly. Yes, thank you, Theo. Thank you so much. I have changed and I love it. I really do. So the theme is cultivation, right? And you have to look at what you're planting, what you're watering, and what you're harvesting. Look, it's going to be difficult at first. It's going to be difficult to say no. It's going to be difficult to tell someone a truth that you don't want to hurt their feelings. It's going to be difficult to cut ties. It's going to be difficult to leave this area and move to this area of your life. But that's evolution, masters. That's evolution for the soul. That's what grows you, is the challenge of life in the endurance of change. And allowing yourself to bloom and blossom and flourish in a way unbeknownst to your egotistical, limited, conditioned mind that seeks the commonality of humanity as its wayfare. Don't do it to yourself. You deserve better. All right, guys? Well, listen, all of you out there that thanked me and or supported me and gave me good encouragement for my big move. Thank you all. And we are here now in north of Houston. We went out for a motorcycle ride today. Finally, we got on the bike. We did about 50 miles in these wonderful Texas back roads. It was so awesome. They were so beautiful, and we were really happy to get a ride in today. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but it's supposed to be sunny and 80 and wonderful. Almost the end of November right here in Texas. What a wonderful fall we're having. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'll be out there again on Tuesday. And that's it, except for if you care to donate, it's you can give us, not me, but it's Tommy's birthday today. So happy birthday to Tommy. And so give us your happy birthdays. Send us that love, a thumbs up. If you care to donate, you can do that on the link down there. It's got to my website. And that's it, Masters. Go and be awesome. Go and find you. Just go and fall in love with yourself. Okay? All right. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Tommy. Says Kevin. And M4GN3T0 says happy birthday. He's going, thanks. All right, everyone. I love you all. Journey well, Masters. To our next now, we bid you a good day.